Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. So today we will be talking about the Hummer H2 and if it's a good car to buy, if it's a reliable vehicle, and if it's worth buying this vehicle in 2022. And if we have enough time, we'll just go quickly over some of the issues you might encounter with the Hummer H2, and this would be like the common issues. So let's get started here. Now the Hummer H2 was actually produced and sold between 2003 and 2009. During the production run, you had some changes that were made. Some incremental, some drastic changes, and all of these was with an aim to improving the user experience and also the reliability of the vehicle. Now the early Hummers are known to have some very common issues that were addressed in the later run of the vehicle. That would include like the quality, the build quality of the interior. It doesn't really feel like a premium vehicle, and if you look back at history, 2003 or during the period when this vehicle was being produced, when it first came out, it was the vehicle that every athlete, every rapper had to have. So outside it looked quite impressive, but once you got inside, you were kind of disappointed with the quality of the plastics that was used. Other issues that the Hummers ended up having include the very poor fuel mileage, which is part of the reason why I believe following the financial crisis of 2008, production of the vehicle ceased, or there were too many complaints, and General Motors decided not to produce the Hummer H2 anymore. Common complaints you would have is, for example, the roof lights you see right here. Those are prone to leak if you go through a car wash and you end up with water inside the vehicle. Underneath the driver's seat you have the, I believe is the ABS module, or the airbag module underneath the driver's side seat, and that would get corroded by water that got into the vehicle from the roof. Also, the early Hummers are known to have faulty transmissions that would break down, usually around the 100,000 to the 150,000 mark, and that was really common with the early H2s. The later versions of the Hummer, they got an even more powerful engine, a 6.2 liter Vortec engine that put out much more horsepower, and correspondingly they also had a much more beefier transmission. The early transmissions were 4-speed, and they were not as robust as the later transmissions. Another common failure item on the Hummer is the brake and power steering system. Nowadays, most vehicles come with electric steering, but there's still quite a few vehicles that have the good old power steering that relies on hydraulic pressure to get the power steering to function. So what's unique about the Hummer is that it has what they call a hydro boost brake system, and that is linked with the power steering system, and it relies on the power steering pump to operate the brakes and also the power steering. If one of those items in that circuit fails, the other is very prone to fail also. So that's a very common and recurrent problem. Apart from those two, there isn't too much that is wrong with the Hummer. As you can see, the body build is quite robust, and it has been proven that it stands the test of time. But what you should be worried more are the mechanical, so the engine, the transmission, and also at times the electricals. These vehicles, many people put in sound systems, they make modifications inside, add light bars and other stuff, and if it's not done correctly, you risk having electrical issues with your Hummer. There is a proper way to jump start a Hummer. I had a dead battery. I tried to jump start it, it wouldn't start. I just slapped in a new battery. But if you have a dead battery, I posted a video, my last video, which shows how to properly jump start a Hummer. Apart from that, there's also the air suspension, the air ride suspension on some which was available as an option, and that is known to fail, but it's a very good system, easy to maintain. I would advise, if ever you take your Hummer off-road or it gets too dirty, if you are going through the car wash, take the option that cleans underneath the vehicle. You don't want too much crud getting into the suspension system, because it has some sensors in there which are meant to detect the height of the vehicle and correct it accordingly. So so long as you keep up with the basic maintenance, the Hummer is quite reliable, and it should give you many years of service. On this Hummer, I average anywhere from 10 to 12 miles per gallon, depending on how I drive, but I tend to let it idle a lot, when it's warming up, and then even when I'm just doing other stuff, I let the Hummer sit there running. So my mileage does not actually reflect miles being driven. Even at idle, the big V8 engine consumes quite a bit of gas. So that's what I had to share with you guys today. Thank you for joining me for another Hummer video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.